Well, welcome to another episode of Theology, where I've got my nice cup of tea and my copy of the Confession. And this time I'm joined with this thing, which my son Fox put in my office today. So he joins me. He's this squishy cat thing with a cat cupcake. I mean, a regular cupcake with a. Anyway. Um, so we're continuing with chapter 5 on the providence of God and how God directs all things and is in control of all things. And so we come to section 4, which is certainly addressing or trying to answer the question of how far does God's providence extend? Does it extend to the fall of Adam and the first sin? And behind that question is really the question of is God completely sovereign over all affairs or is he not? You really either have complete sovereignty or no sovereignty at all. And so this attempts to deal with those questions in a sensitive and biblical way. And it is worth noting the way they start, like Paul does in Romans 11, in doxology, in worship, as they start this section. So, chapter 5, section 4: the almighty power, unsearchable wisdom, and infinite goodness of God so far manifest themselves in his providence that it extends itself even to the first fall and all other sins of angels and men, and that not by a bare permission, but such as has joined with it a most wise and powerful bonding, and otherwise ordering and governing of them in a manifold dispensation to his own holy ends. Yet so as the sinfulness thereof proceeds only from the creature and not from God, who, being most holy and righteous, neither is nor can be the author or approver of sin. And so again, it reminds us that if God is wise and God is powerful, then his control extends over all things, even the first sin. But as that ending sentence wants to remind us that he's not the author, that again, the two things that we see throughout Scripture are that God is in control. He dwells in unapproachable light. He sits in heaven and does all that he pleases. And the Bible also clearly affirms that it was Adam and it was Satan who did the disobedience, even if God was in control of all of those events, which we see throughout the rest of Scripture. Again, as David referenced, how this evil event that happened to Joseph, God orchestrated ultimately for the good and for the salvation of Joseph's family. And ultimately, that story brings us to Christ, the ultimate evil, the one good man who was completely holy and completely righteous, unjustly killed in order to bring salvation. And so, even this first fall, even if we don't know all the ins and outs or the hows and the whys, God is using that fall, the sin of Adam and the sin of Satan, to bring about his own good, holy, and perfect will. Even if we don't understand how it all happens, the Bible gives us great hope to know that it is happening. So with that, thanks for tuning in again, and hope you have a nice cup of tea. I think this is Broadway Tower, and just got some Yorkshire Gold. Again, my favorite black tea. So thanks.